Here we go, folks. I'll let you know about the rest of the... We are underway here, folks, at the Open A finals. We've got Alex up right now. Alex, first climber out for the male. And we'll have Rose in just a moment for the female as well. And Rose just taking her time. You don't have to rush this, but 4 minutes, you can see up there on the clock. Folks, how it works, just so you know, if you are sitting there at home watching, and if you don't know the rules well, you've got to start at the bottom, make it to the top. That makes sense, doesn't it? But what you must do is you must have a controlled start at the bottom. Boom, there you go, controlled start. Judges watching like hawks. And then you need to make your way up to the top of the climb. On the way, if you get to this next hold here, which you can see a piece of red tape, that is what's called a zone. And at the top, there will be a piece of green tape, which will be called a top. And you make it to the top in the least amount of attempts. That is the goal. That's the best way to roll. And here we go with Rose. Oh, and Rose making her way pretty solidly up this first climb. The stiff overhang for Rose and the women's on the way through. And don't want to kibosh this, but she's looking pretty good. But there's still a decent move to go before she hits the top. And 2 hands, Rose. And yes, a top for Rose. Celebrating, making sure she gets the nod from the judges. Almost. Well done, Rose. And the first top of the finals. Rose will be happy with that, I'm quite sure. And here we go. We've got Alexander on his first boulder of the day. Men's final number 1. And I'm sure he'll want to get a top on this one.
2 are gone, 2 have remained.
2 minutes before the clock is up. And, you know, it might seem a fair, decent amount of time sitting there at home, folks, but it's certainly not. Out there on the floor, the adrenaline's pumping. Oh, well done. Alex made the move. Now, that means he's made the zone hold. So he will get a point, a zone, an attempt to zones, which is fantastic. And now, obviously, he will want to try and make it to the top. We've got a great crowd here tonight. Plenty of people staying back, supporting the climbers, the boulderers, to see who might be the winner here at the Open A Queensland Bouldering Championships, put on by Sports Climbing Queensland. Bit of a shout out to our sponsors, Pinnacle Sports. But we are watching right now Alexander. Alexander wants to get off to a good start. Maybe a little bit of nerves, or maybe this climb's just pretty tough. He's done this move, so the move to the zone, he knows what to do on that one. Now, this is where he wants to beat his previous high point. Now, you can see the clock ticking down up there, folks. Once it's over, it's over. And he's trying to make progress here. Let's see what he can pull out in this last 20 seconds. Not to be. Not to be. Alexander, well done. He might be a bit disappointed with that, but getting a zone is absolutely essential. As we go, folks, along in the scoring tonight. It's not over till it's over. There will be 4 boulder problems for each, the men and the women. And we got ourselves a top.
As the climbers are coming out, let's hear a big cheer for the next climbers, please.
All right, here we go. Mia is there, and we have Alistair.
Are we ready?
Oh, there we go. Alistair early, ready to go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, turn around. So right now we have got Alistair and we got Mia.
Alistair, Mia here. And Mia made it all the way up from New South Wales. And Alistair used to be on the board and the Queensland president. Oh! He knew what he had to do, but just didn't land that one there right at the end.
Remember, everything they know about this race is purely theoretical. They've looked at the moment.
They've had a go for 2 minutes, folks. They've done some, mental gymnastics or in their mind climbing, and they're hoping that they get that right in the viewing. That's what they did for 2 minutes when they came out, and now to try and put it all together in under 4 minutes. Great to see Alistair on fire when it comes to the first one, and getting a point or a zone, and pretty stiff that move there. Both Alistair and Mia not progressing past their high points at this point in time. So we'll see. We shall see how it progresses, folks, as we go along. For the climbers, Mia getting a bit better start to this one. But not really progressing past those first few holds. Now these overhangs are pretty stiff, folks, and those little volumes on there, those shapes that you see on the wall are called volumes, and some of them have got smooth sides, dual text. They're fantastic to climb on. I've climbed on those before. Fantastic and really tricky as well, because the setters will use... Let's go, Alistair. Some of that side, you can see the white on those holes are slippery. That's what's called dual text. That's like slippery as a bowling ball, really. And then the rest of it is textured, so it's got some grip and spices things up a little bit. And these are volumes, shapes and volumes on the wall that help the route setters make things a little bit interesting and a little bit different, and also quite aesthetic. Quite like the look of this female final one. As we progress into the finals, we are only 2 climbers in on the first boulder problem, folks, and the 1 minute mark for these guys now, and they've probably got 1 to 2 good attempts in the tank, I would say, and let's see how Alistair progresses on this one. This was his furthest high point from last time, and you can see I was going to say, if he's going to grab onto that, he's got fingers of steel. But that...
43 seconds remaining.
He was making much... Well, it looked like better progress there, but that might be what's called the crux, folks. On the way through, there is usually a hard section of one of the boulders, or all of the boulders, commonly referred to as the crux. That tests the climbers part way through the boulder.
There's 20 seconds
We'll
left.
see how we go here. Can Alistair pull something out of the bag? 16 seconds to go. Not to be. Not today for Alistair, but Alistair's got a zone, so that's good. He'll be happy with that.
7, 6,
zone for Alistair.
5, 4, 3,
nice dynamic
2,
move.
1.
There.
That's it. Time. We're going to send out the next competitors. Get them ready. Reset the clock. Give away some liquid chalk. Anybody still using liquid? There's the liquid people.
We have a little bit of a break between climbs. The brushes get up there, and you can see that, folks. It does help a lot. The brushes get in there and make sure that those holes are clean. In between climbs, great to see the youngsters in the crowd as well, supporting everyone there. Good to see everyone having a good time. And the next 2 climbers out will be Jesse and Sarah. As we go. Let's see what these guys have got in the tank when it comes to the first 2 boulder problems. All right. That's Sarah Reynolds. Doing quite well. Sarah's a mum of 2. We had a chance to have a bit of a chat earlier today. She came on as a bit of a guest commentator for a little bit in the qualifiers. And we have the other Boulder Guild member, Jesse Ruffian. Trying to get his finals off to a decent start. Not to be. Didn't make that first zone there. And it's important, folks, as you progress through the competition, a zone, the attempts to zone, so how many attempts it takes you to get to a zone, very important. How many attempts it takes you to get to the top is how it's scored. The zone is donated or designated for this red piece of tape right here. You can see that right there for Jesse, and right just above Sarah, a couple more moves yet. She's making it off the ground and making decent progress here. That first one for the females, very physical to begin with. A bit more balancy for the males to begin with. Jesse trying to progress here. We've got Sarah back at her high point before. She's making this move, trying to get that heel hook to make it work, and very physical. She's upside down in the roof there, folks, and these holds aren't angling the way you want them to either. So as a climber, you'd love them to be straightforward, but the route setters make sure that they aren't, and that's the way it rolls. Like I said before, Jesse's moving to South Australia a bit later on, so I'm told, by his friends and family in the crowd. We picked their brains. Been climbing since he was 8. Just not getting that move to the zone nailed just yet. I don't think he's made the zone yet. You have to be in control, folks, for the zone. The zone hold must be controlled, just like the top, to be counted. And Sarah trying something a little bit different. Sometimes you can get stuck in one mindset when it comes to doing a boulder problem a certain way, and maybe the way you thought it was going to work is not the way it's going to work.
Competitors, you have 1 minute.
And
56 seconds to be
Jesse might need to, as a strategy, just spice it up here a little bit. Think of it. He's like, okay, well, maybe that's not working. What's another way I can have a go at this? He's probably got one good attempt in the tank, I would say, or on the clock. And that's fantastic. Good to see Sarah making it. One more move to the zone. Let's go, Sarah. She's trying to get a knee bar in, which is great. And you can see, a bit of adrenaline on the clock really gets the climbers going. And she's got a reasonably comfortable knee bar there. Let's see if she can progress through. Sarah doing quite nicely. Well, at least you got the zone, and that will help, folks. That always helps. And let's see if Jesse can do that, but no, not to be for him tonight. And Sarah getting a zone.
They're already there. Who we got in the audience? Can I have a cheer for the next competitors, please? Give them a cheer.
And coming out next, we have Sam Bowman and Atako Nakamura. Sam Bowman and Atako. I think Sam is this one. And Atako.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn around.
There we go. Oh, sorry, Atako. There you are. Atako looking ready. Atako and Sam ready to go. Sam is a bit of an experienced competitor. He's competed in the World Cups in the youth competition, making pretty good progress here, but maybe not going how he thought it. Just rethinking that on the fly as he's bouldering on through, and Sam making the zone, which is great, and Atako making the zone as well. Both of them here. We could have dual tops, which will be nice, but I better not speak too soon. Here we go. Yes. Double match. Yes, the crowd goes wild. Well done. Oh, that's great to see. 2 tops in easy time. Well, folks, that was a flash for both Sam Bowman and Adeko Nakamura. Those guys did a flash, which means first go from top to bottom. A bit of a fist pump between the two. I'm sure they're both pretty stoked about that as the start to their bouldering competition, which is great. And the crowd enjoyed that. It's always good to see some tops. And the route setters, looks like they've made, it's always a tricky thing, but looks like early days yet, but looks like they've got the field.
Judges are happy. Count with me. 8, 7, 6.
Apologies, folks. We do have a problem with our clock camera. It has gone off. We will we'll see if we can get that going again, but we had it set, and maybe the battery's gone flat, so we'll see how we go. But here we go. We have Judith, who came in second in the qualifiers, and we have Sam Lavender. Sam Lavender came in second on the qualifiers, and we'll see how these guys go with their start to their competition. Judith maybe using a bit more energy than she wants, but still on with her first attempt. What do they say? First go, best go in the business of making tops in bouldering competitions. She's off. She didn't make it to the zone. One more move would have been the zone, folks, but you must at least get the zone in control and move from it. I think that is the rules, the official rules in the climbing standards. And we'll see here Sam Lavender. See how Sam goes with his start to the competition. See if he can make the zone, get himself on the board for this as well, and he does. Makes that work. Now, Sam Bowman made some good progress from here. Big high step, get a little bit more pressure for that undercling, and there's an opposing one up and one down, and it's a pretty tough physical manoeuvre, that one. A big press. Wasn't to be for Sam, but we've got Judith here. Made it all the way from New South Wales. What we know about Judith is she likes crimson slabs, so maybe this overhang isn't her cup of tea, but she's made it twice now to that high point. Flew up from Sydney on Saturday, made the climbs at St. Peter's in Sydney, and her preferred style is actually lead climbing. Owns 2 sausage dogs, by the way. And up here in Queensland having a holiday, and why not come along to a competition and have a bit of fun. Hopefully the next couple of climbs for Judith might be a little bit more her style. This overhanging problem in the roof, not necessarily going her way right now, but there's still time for her to make that happen. Apologies, folks. Our clock camera has just gone flat. Let's see how Judith goes on. She's made it to the zone, which is great. Well, there you go. You never say it's over until it's actually over. And one more move, and she's done it, folks. Not yet, though. Double match, and Judith gets a top. Well, that is great news for Judith and the start here. But Sam Lavender, making that high step and that really physical move, and almost off, but you can see he's absolutely gunning for the top here, folks. Little toe hook, and that he makes it too. Could be a bit of a buzzer beater as well. And
all right, we're going to send out the next climbers.
Good to see 2 tops there from those guys. And the route setters, folks, they try to set these boulder problems so it splits the field, so they have some clear winners. And I think they've done a pretty good job so far, but it's early days, folks. Stick with us. This is the finals This is the Open A finals, folks. You are seeing the top 6 male and the top 6 female from today's qualifiers. Happy Mother's Day to the climbing mums. We've got our 2 next climbers out, which is Hugo and Lucy. Hugo and Lucy. And Hugo and Lucy are the top finishers today so far in the competition. Doesn't mean that that's an automatic win, though. They finished first in the qualifiers. And Hugo, young, strong climber, will find a knee bar anywhere. He's a bit of a knee bar king. Maybe he's modelling himself off Adam Ondra. Flashed all the qualifiers. Flashed means, folks, did them first go. No falls. First go, top to bottom. And so that puts him in good stead. Doesn't fall off, his friends say. If he gets hold of something, he will hold on to that. And been climbing 6.5 years. Nice guy all round. So we're told. Flying back to Sydney tonight. Very humble fellow. Got some crazy good endurance. First in Australia for lead, which is fantastic. So hopefully that works in Hugo's favour here with this boulder problem. And not to be. A little bit balancy. But we have Lucy absolutely crushing right now. And one move from the top. And I better not jinx her on this. Come on, Lucy. Oh, she is at full stretch, folks. She's not finished yet. She has to match. Boom. Well done, Lucy. Good match there. That is fantastic. Well done. Good top there. Off to a good start. Hugo here. Hugo flashed all of the qualifiers, but not to be in the finals. But that doesn't mean anything. He's probably needs to rethink his strategy here. He was trying to do that statically, but maybe, change gears, have a breath, think about it. Hugo, as he moves into his first problem here in the finals. We're at the Open A finals, folks, here in Sports Climbing Queensland Boulder Championships. And you're watching Hugo. I think he's got it now. He felt a little bit more of a spring in his step. He felt that might work, so it's good to see a little bit of experience there in Hugo's climbing. Sometimes you just have to change it up on the fly. If you thought something in the viewing, you think, oh, it's going to go that way. And, yep, there we go. Learning on the fly and absolutely need to be a bit flexible. Mentally, physically, on your climbing plan. Let's see if he can make this move. This is the crux move. Very flexible, strong. You've got to press and pull at the same time. Looks like he's made that look pretty nice so far. One move, and it's still not over till the buzzer goes.
55 seconds.
And makes the top. Well done, Hugo. Well, there you go, folks. We've seen a few tops on the male, and we've seen a few tops on the female. Number of attempts as well, so it's still a close one, folks. And that's the first problem done and dusted for the male, and the first problem done and dusted for the female.
Rose coming a long way, all the way from ACT. She was supposed to be driving back to the ACT. What does she use? Like fireworks in the back of the car?
Now, it resets now, folks. What happens is the first 2 climbers, which were Alexander Tchaikovsky and Rose Weller,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
about to get their competition underway.
2, 1, turn around.
Oh, let's do it. I'll be back in a second, folks. I'm joined by one of the route setters. Let me get him set up, and he might be able to give us some insight to what's going on as well. So, hang 5. All right, folks, I'm joined by Jordan here, one of the route setters who've been, we're watching Alexander. Jordan, mate, looks like the first set, the first two, got off pretty well. Bit of a nice split in the field, mate, and you guys have been working on this for a few days. How are you feeling?
A little bit excited. It's always a lot of nerves for finals. You never know how strong the athletes really are.
Yeah, I bet it takes a little bit of tweaking along the way to get it right, and you might see them extra strong on the day in qualifiers, or maybe even not so strong. And do you tweak it as they go along?
Yes, absolutely. For example, it was quite a bit hotter and quite a bit more humid when we were setting.
Yes, it's cooled down right now, isn't it? It's quite nice. Good conditions.
Yeah, very good conditions for finals, which is great for the finalists, but tricky for us route setters.
Yeah, I bet. And do you think those it makes like a massive difference in the competitions for you guys? Like that, the conditions are tough. I mean, Queensland's always a bit sweaty though.
Yep. Oh, it's a massive difference. It's a real concern.
The first two competitors out now, or the two competitors out now, are the ones that qualified in sixth.
Yep, correct.
And you got Rose and Alexander. What do you know about these guys? These guys did well in qualifiers.
Yeah, they both did really well in qualifiers. They made it to finals, obviously.
Happy days for those two. Mm-hmm. And what are they on right now? What have you got in store for both of them? The females, using this interesting looking volume, all start a bit of a leap, and then they've got to go back the other way.
That's exactly right. So get established on the wall, and then go to the left, and then go all the way back to the right. So it's a bit of a tricky one.
It looks like a long one too, but it'd take a lot of time, that one. And sometimes you guys it's just straightforward, just grab these things and pull them down.
Yep, the ones who know how to do it, they'll generate quite a bit of momentum, and they'll swing their weight across those volumes, and they can almost make it look effortless when done right. If
you get the sequence of that process. And you're talking about volumes, folks, if you're looking here at home and we're watching Alexander. Where is he? There he is, Alexander. Oh, that's not working. But Alexander here, you can see those white hexagons on the wall. You guys use them a lot. They help the 3D nature of the setting as well.
That's right. It helps us build out the three-dimensionality of the wall.
Yeah, yeah. For the ladies, you're saying that there's a bit more of it. Would you be calling that one a coordination boulder?
I would, yeah. So it's swingling.
Yeah.
Generate a little bit of momentum with the legs. I have a hot tip. I think our finalist who qualified in first place, Lucy. I think she's going to make it look excellent.
Excellent. Well, she absolutely crushed on the way through the qualifiers and made the first one look fairly easy.
Yeah.
That was a flash for her as well.
Yeah, cruised her way through it.
Yeah.
She's a real professional.
Yeah, and I understand Lucy's been, I think I had it here before, she's already been in a few of the World Cups and stuff like that as well. So she's a bit of a experienced professional.
Absolutely. She's got a lot of years behind her in the comp scene.
Unfortunately for Alexander and Rose, no tops for these guys on that one today.
No luck.
And so how do you guys do the setting here? You want, these problems to maybe put some attempts in the tank for some of the climbers?
Yep. So best case scenario, the strongest climbers will do them quickly, and then they get less tired, so they have more energy for the next final. But the people in the middle, they might take more attempts, and that cumulatively adds up to a lot more fatigue.
Yeah, I bet it does. And there's a bit of strategy, not only strength and, power on the wall, but also some strategy on this as well. So we've got Alistair here, and this one's sort of a bit of a outward-facing start, bit of fun for the crowd.
Absolutely. Get to see a little bit of the emotion on the athletes' faces.
Yeah. And do you keep that in mind when you're setting? You want the crowd to get engaged and involved, as well as, good for the climbers.
Oh yeah, it's got to be. You got to see the passion and the emotion. It's good. There's got to be a spectacle.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what the spectators are here for. And the great part about modern bouldering right now, especially in gyms, it is spectacular to watch. Lots of fun. He's making good progress. He's made the zone.
Alistair's got fantastic hip flexibility.
I saw some high steps on that first one.
Yep, very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. So
might have a sore hip there.
Well, looks like he needs to stretch it. But talk us through the scoring, right? The climbers need to make it to zone, which folks you can see there just above his head, the red tape. He makes it to the zone in a number of attempts.
Yep.
And then makes it to the top in the number of attempts, and the person who has the least amount of tops, least amount of attempts to the top
wins.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fairly simple.
Fairly simple, but the minutiae of it is very complicated. So how the amount of attempts to zone and top correlate.
Now, what happens if somebody comes in equal? Do they do a count back to the qualifiers?
Yes. So you would get them on attempts. So how many attempts it takes to get to zone or to top. But if they have exactly the same, it can be a tie, or you can do a super final, or you can get them on count back.
Yeah.
So there's a few different routes.
It sounds pretty complicated. I think often I see a few of the judges running a spreadsheet and making sure it all works. Looks like we've got our clock roughly back on the screen, folks. So hopefully, that gives everyone a bit of an understanding of where we are when it comes to the problem.
A lot of spreadsheets go into this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Secret behind-the-scenes spreadsheets.
I think spreadsheets run the world, to be honest.
Absolutely.
1 minute 45.
So we've got Mia here, out now on female number 2. So really, if you think about it, she needs to generate some momentum from left to right, running
correct.
across those interesting pyramid volumes there.
Some volumes from Simple is the manufacturer.
Yeah, they do some great stuff as well, don't they?
Yep.
And those white bits on the volumes,
no texture at all.
Slippery
Very
dippery.
slippery. Oh, that was good.
You could see that she's maybe just in her mind there going, okay, well, I think that's going to work. That might be the way through.
Yep.
We've still got Alistair here, making it to his high point. This is where he got to last time. He made the zone.
Yep. Fighting through here.
And, those big round ones, they look big, but they're not as friendly as you think they are.
Not as friendly as you might want them to be, no.
And he's doing well, but only 50 seconds on the clock. This format, which is the IFC, International Sports Climbing Federation format, only 4 minutes.
Yep, correct.
For each of the climbers and the attempts. It was in 5 minutes in qualifiers, so a little bit more time. And I think I was chatting to you earlier, and you were saying about in qualifiers you might set the routes a little bit harder.
Yes, correct. But in this instance, we actually tweaked the finals to be quite hard.
Quite hard.
Because of just the field and how strong they look today.
Okay, well, there you go. A little bit of science and maybe some art at the same time. You mix it and see how you go.
Yeah, it's a calculated risk that you take with tweaks late in the game.
Yep. And so, your call, maybe Lucy up in the top 3 for sure.
If I was a betting man, I would put my money on Lucy in first place.
All right, there you go. You heard it, folks. If there's someone running a tab out the back, maybe that's what you do. But and what do you reckon in Open A? Who's got the goods?
Oh, it's a tricky one. I think
male.
I'd put my money on Sam Bowman.
Sam Bowman.
Yep.
He's a bit of a long-standing competitor. Got a bit of experience.
A lot of experience. He's also been to a few World Cups.
Yes. And he's competed on the world stage. He should be able to operate under pressure here.
It'll be good to see him on this boulder, I think. Good display of power.
Yeah, well, we've got Jessie out here. Jessie, and we've got Sarah. Sarah Mama too. Chatted with her earlier today. And Jessie has competed for quite a while too in the youth.
Jessie's very strong.
Wearing and sporting his Boulder Guild T-shirt, along with his mate. I think it is it Sam Lavender or Hugo or one of the others.
Alexander, I believe.
Alexander, that's it. Now he's made pretty quick progress with this one, folks, but it's not over. Oh,
that's potentially going to cost him.
Yeah. Well, again, it's the difference between attempts, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day, he made zone on a flash. That helps.
Absolutely, yes.
But to top, it's going to be really needed in that space, but it's a bit of a spectacular start, this one. I love it. Looks fantastic. Bit of a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, it gets the people going. Gives them something to look at.
Totally does. What else for the viewers at home, from your point of view as a setter, do we need to know about the bouldering competitions?
It's kind of an interesting question. I think the big thing that I would say, if you're watching from home and you don't have too much experience with the sport, is it's incredibly hard to gauge just how difficult these things are.
Yes.
Like the difficulty of the moves that these athletes are performing, especially back to back with such little rest.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah, fitness, strength, agility, mental, emotional capacity.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It is not easy.
Yeah, and all day as well. Especially in isolation. Some of the competitors were in isolation for
5 hours.
5 hours.
Go a little bit cabin fever, stir crazy.
Absolutely, and you've got to keep the psych up, and you've got to keep the energy going. Thankfully, in the finals, it's all over a bit quicker than that, folks. And Jessie making again.
Oh, very close there.
Sarah getting that momentum going. That's what you talked about.
Exactly
Maybe that
right.
momentum. This looks like a bit of a showstopper. That move maybe, and a little bit of balance. Maybe get your hips in close and get over your heel or your foot.
Yeah, I was expecting big things from Alistair there with his high level of hip flexibility, but we'll see. Because, as you mentioned before, the athletes who qualified in a higher position, they come out last. So you expect to see your strongest competitors towards the end of a round on a boulder.
Yeah. And, not necessarily the best place to be coming out last. But,
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, well, and is that part of how the whole setup is created? And here we go.
Look at that.
Sarah made that. It was nice. It was like almost that perfect dead point, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Enough
so there's a lot of
momentum, but not too much.
Right to the balance.
Yeah.
It's a very good one. See if she can get the top.
And let's see. She's got 58 seconds, 57 seconds, folks. And now maybe a little bit more balancy and technical on the way up the slab.
That's right. Slow and steady wins the race on this one, certainly.
And unfortunately, for Sarah anyway, none of those holes are facing the optimal way.
Not what you might want, no.
No. And even there, look at that. It's
Good skills there.
got some, she's on that dual tech stuff, and don't want to speak too soon, but she's looking pretty good so far. Boom, well
Fantastic.
done. The crowd loved that one. And there you go, folks. Those coordination moves, you just have to sort of do them a few times, and then they get in your body, and then sometimes it just boom, clicks.
Yep. Exactly right.
Yep. 4 minutes takes puts the pressure on, puts the heat on you.
Especially in the last minute, she did very well to top there.
Totally. Well, folks, welcome to the Open Day Finals. If you're just joining us, fantastic to have you here. Give us a shout out as we go. Give us a shout out for the live stream today. Big crowd, being very supportive. I'm joined by Jordan, one of the route setters, who's been working absolutely tirelessly here today and yesterday and the day before.
Fully helter-skelter.
Friday. There you go. And we've got our next two competitors out. And this is one that Jordan's got a bit of a tip going out the back, maybe, with Sam Bowman.
I reckon he's one to watch for this comp.
One
Definitely.
to watch. And Atako Nakamura. And she made that first one look pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, very much a dark horse. She's very strong, up-and-comer. But having said that, she's also got a lot of experience.
Well, she looks quite young.
She is quite young.
Yeah. And
I believe she's in Youth A.
There you go. And they get bumped through to the Opens at some point. I was chatting with one of the climbers before. You do Bs for a couple of years and then you get bumped up to As.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And it's great to see her with that, getting some experience in the competitions, and looks like she's taking it into her stride. Maybe this one could be a little bit more difficult, but we've got Sam here making good progress.
The crowd like that one.
Yes, and it looks like a flash. I think this is his first attempt, and he did flash the first one as well.
Straight up here, surely. Lovely
Yeah,
work, Sam.
boom. All right. Looks like it's pretty well a done deal if you get to that last move, but it's not an easy gimme to get there. And Sam's quite long too.
Definitely a bit of a fight.
Yeah. Well, the crowd enjoyed that, but maybe Atako needs to think about another way to make this one work for her. And it's obviously difficult to set for someone who's taller and shorter and
Absolutely.
Different styles. How do you guys approach that?
It's sort of just an experience thing.
Yep.
You sort of get to know what a different sized body can do, and it really helps to have prior knowledge of who's competing and
Yes.
who's going to be in the field.
Yep.
And we have secret lists of who we expect to make finals, and we sort of set them to be appropriate for those people.
Yeah.
So it's easier because you have a much smaller group of people you're expecting to set for. She's right there on that.
I think so. Just a little bit more momentum. And, that's what it's like. You practice these, these moves a few times and hopefully it clicks in.
And then it's just there.
Yeah. And, watching some of the World Cups as well, the difference between some of the climbers, you can see massive momentum there. Folks, big hip and knee flick and
Just didn't quite get her toe on that foothold.
yeah, just a smidgen more. I think she's feeling, all right, I know what to do now. I've just got to get it in the body.
Just got to do it.
Yeah. And it'll be my prediction if she pulls that move, then I think she'll be fine to the top.
I think so.
Well, we're all with you, Attico, and the crowd is hanging with bated breath as well. She looks pretty calm and collected, though. I've got to say. Here we go. Here we go.
Lovely, good skills.
And there you go. That's what we mean, folks, at home, checking that out. It looked at the first go, like she was like, a mile away from that.
Yep.
A few more goes, calibrate, and boom.
Small little tweaks,
Yep.
small little changes.
Absolutely. Taking
Very
time.
satisfying.
And it must be great for you guys to see that. Like, yes, that worked exactly how we wanted it to.
Yep.
Yep. And she's taking the time here. She doesn't have to rush this, but she wants to make sure, probably that move, that lower move's what you would call a low percentage move,
Absolutely,
Yep. And looks like without wanting to jinx her, she's probably got a top, 2 hands. Thank you very much. Well done, Attico. So Attico and Sam made that happen.
Yep.
Well, I think we've got a good competition on our hands here.
Absolutely. It's really heating up.
Indeed. And so tell us a little bit about, the folks listening at home. How did you get into the world of route setting?
So when I started climbing, it was at sort of a smaller community centre, and they sort of just let anyone have a crack. And I was very fortunate because I don't think that I said anything good for probably 2 years.
Well, they let you keep going.
Yeah, exactly right. So I was just surrounded by a very supportive community, and they just gave me the tools to work my way into it.
Have a go. Well, there you go, folks. Anyone sitting at home thinking, I wouldn't mind having a go on that, just put your hand up and have a go. We've got our next 2 competitors here, Sam Lavender and Judith Carroll. Judith making the trip all the way from New South Wales. She did pretty well in the qualifiers as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, made a bunch of tops. Judith likes crimson slabs, so this might be right up her alley, so I'm told. And again, that is fantastic to see.
Quite close there.
Yeah, well...
It's an excellent first attempt.
A little bit longer for her, and maybe you just got to tune in that version of momentum that you need. Not too much. Let's call that one the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, exactly right. That's a great way of describing it.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam's off there. That's surprising.
He looked a little bit
perplexed.
Perplexed there, yeah. Yeah. Well, and this is it, folks. It's not straightforward. Sometimes you've got an idea in your mind, and you get on the hold, and you go, "This is not going to work at all."
Yep.
I might need to recalibrate, rethink through on the fly where I'm at.
It's part of the game.
Yeah, it's all part of the game. And Judith here, hopefully she can.
Oh, she's close there.
Getting close.
You can see she's got her brain a little bit in her hands and not in her feet.
She's
reaching for the hold instead of just trying to get her legs sorted.
And sort of like, you're kicking those hips forward before you try and reach as well. You're going to get those hips over the top of your feet.
Yep. It's almost like a lache, which is a parkour move.
Yeah. And you can see once the butt starts to stick out, you're off.
Yep.
But let's hope Sam works it out on the fly here.
I think he's got a good shot.
Got a good shot here, and a little bit more focused on this attempt, making the zone. 2 attempts to zone. That'll be good for his score sheet. And again, folks, you saw Sam's hand slip off there. That's conditions, and also sweaty on the palm. That's why we have chalk.
Also, it's worth mentioning, it doesn't quite look it on the camera, but that wall angle there is quite overhung.
It's kicked back as well, and it's not vertical, folks. And that's, like I said before, it's a little bit difficult for maybe those viewers at home to really appreciate what's going on here. And there we go.
Fantastic.
Judith made that work. then you could see that progress. It's fantastic to see those as they're going along.
Incremental changes.
Incremental changes, which is great. And that's the mark of a good competitor. When do you change and when do you stick with the beta that you're thinking, right? It's just like, okay, how do I do this?
Got to make the right tweaks at the right time.
Absolutely.
Oh, here she goes. I think she's on with the top here.
Let's call it done and dusted with 2 hands on the top. Well done. Good work, Judith. Well, few people out there. The top 3, looks like these top 3 are making
it happen.
Making it happen. I think all.
Sam's going to have to fight here, last minute.
50 seconds. He's still got time to do it.
Absolutely.
But I don't think he's got more than one good attempt on the clock, to be honest.
And you can see there he's quite tired, so that attempt has really cost him, quite taxing.
Yeah, and part of that, you've competed obviously as well as set. What sort of strategy would you approach here now? Sam's got a bit of time, but it's not enough time to do it. Save your energy.
You can see here that Sam's actually chosen to walk away, and that's exactly the choice I would have made.
Smart
Potentially
move.
one attempt earlier. But it's impossible to get into the mind of a competitor.
Well, especially when you're thinking, I can get that. I can get that. I'm almost there.
Exactly right. You think maybe I can just eke this out if I just have one more attempt. But it's a slippery slope. Once you start getting fatigued, it can really snowball.
Absolutely, and obviously psychologically too. Sometimes if you think Sam in a pretty good spot coming out of qualifiers, maybe thinking, all right, well I got this. Maybe 1 or 2 things that
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn.
Yeah, it definitely pays to have an iron will as a competitor.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got our 2 top qualifiers. Hugo Hornshaw. He made pretty short work of the first one.
He did, yeah. He looked quite comfortable.
Quite comfortable. Certainly Lucy crushed on the first one. We'll see how she goes on this one, because the coordination moves are ones, like you said, split the field a little. Maybe Hugo didn't see the starting outwards start. No, he's got it now. A little bit of a jump.
He's just assessing his options, I think.
Aha.
It always pays to try the least risky option first.
Well, it's a calculated risk, huh?
Exactly right.
Yeah. And, you see a lot of different styles of climbers in the international competition, many competitions, and some are dynamic, some are really
slow and static.
And it's great to see different ones there. But Hugo's now making good progress. Made the zone on his second. We didn't see him make the dyno, but
getting a sneaky knee bar in there, so he can chalk up.
What I was told, I think I was told in my little cheat facts, Hugo will find a knee bar anywhere. A bit of a knee bar king.
That's good.
He seems to be channeling Adam Ondra, maybe, with the knee bars. Now, can it be done this way?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It can.
I believe we saw Sam go for that same option.
Yeah, nice, long. Hugo's a bit more lengthy as well in the arm span, so maybe that'll work for him.
Yep, could do. It's a fine line in that position to push yourself across enough, but not so much that you lose your balance point. Because that overhung panel that you're on, it just pushes you away. Always fighting.
Always fighting. Shoulders, chests, arms, a lot, folks. And it's certainly a physical battle. We've got 2 minutes to go here on the final 2 climbers on boulder number 2. Lucy not necessarily looking that comfortable in this one.
No, she's certainly got all the skills. Just needs to dial it in.
And again, that's the competition pros, but looks like she's still having a bit of fun out there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think that's one of the greatest things about Lucy. She's always got a smile on her face.
And that could be great for any walk of life, but certainly climbing competitions. You've got to have a bit of fun. Keep your energy. This looks better. Yes.
Excellent work.
I think the smile was her secret weapon.
Precisely. It's
got
all
out of
about
her head
mindset.
and into her body, like you said before.
Yeah.
Well done, Lucy. And for all of the competitors who seem to get to this point, they've made a top from here. So, other than something not going her way, she's got plenty of time to do so.
Slow and steady wins the race.
I think so, certainly in this moment here. And
yeah.
Hugo finding that knee bar again, and Looks like Lucy. One more move. Match that.
Lovely.
Top. Yes, she's happy about that.
Yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure. I think she did it faster than anyone else as well.
There you go. So not as many attempts to the top and or the zone, and that really matters. That really counts.
Absolutely.
On the way to the finals or the podium here at the finals, folks. We are in the Open A finals here on the Sunshine Coast. It's been a big day of climbing. We had 55 competitors in the Open A male and 26 competitors in the Open A female, I believe. And I believe that was one of the biggest Open A female competitor fields we've had in a long time, I was told.
Which very exciting.
Which is great to see.
It would always be better to see more.
There's a shout out, folks. If you're sitting at home going, yeah, I'll give this a crack, we would love to see you get into the bouldering and the climbing.
Hopefully next year in Queensland there'll be a semi-finals as well for this event.
Yes.
So you get a lot more bang for your buck.
You heard it. Straight from the horse's mouth. Straight from the setter's mouth.
That's right. So for the third boulder here, I think I might leave you and go and get someone who set that.
Well, that would be awesome. Appreciate your time, Jordan, and your experience and feedback in the boulder problems.
Not at all.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
All right, mate. Speak to you soon.
Take care.
Just checking out. Jim, Lockie, good? Good. All right, let's get them going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
It was great to be joined there by Jordan, one of the setters, and he's going to grab one of the female setters as well. Maybe I'll get her to come over and say a quick hello. Give us a shout out in the chat, folks, if you're there on Facebook. Fantastic to have you on the live stream. You're watching, if you didn't know already, Open A Queensland, Sports Climbing Queensland, Open A Bouldering Championships, and Alexander Tchaikovsky on the third boulder problem of the evening for the men.
Down to 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
And we will have Rose out in a minute, I'm sure. We will see Rose as well. She's just giving it a bit of thought. Again, a bit more of a slab here for the ladies. They had a pretty stiff one to start with in the beginning, which was in the overhang.
This is not the first time they've seen
and
this, but it's been a while since
we'll see how she gets on with this one. I'm joined by one of the other route setters, folks, so give me a second. I'll get her set up on the desk and we'll have a bit of a chat. I think her name's Maddie. Maddie, I'll get that right in a second. Hang with me, folks. But you're watching the Open A's, and this is...
Just to remind everybody, we are live streaming, so those cameras, just be aware of the cameras, whether there's a light on them or not. Please don't walk directly in front of them. Even when you send, feel free to run up to the camera and let it know that you have.
All right, folks, we're joined by one of the setters here, one of the female setters, Maddie. I'll unmute you, Maddie. Say a quick hello to the crowd.
Hello, everyone.
Maddie, great for you to join us on the live stream.
Thanks for having me.
You've been busy as these last few days.
Oh, yeah.
Talk us through these couple of sets here. We've got the third boulder problem for the men and the women.
Yes.
And I hear you were involved in setting a couple of these.
Yep.
Tell us what you've got in store for the climbers. Have you made some heartbreakers?
Hopefully not. I was mainly involved with the female, the third boulder.
Okay.
And that boulder, yeah, that's the one. It's basically challenging the slab skill. Start off is a little bit balancy and risky.
Rose is trying to make the start here. Is a bit of a toe hook, a bit of a toe hook to get started, or can you do it statically?
It depends. It's quite delicate, so you gotta exactly. So you gotta stand on the tip of the volume, the lower one. And then
her
you
foot's
gotta,
a bit high, you're thinking that start maybe, yeah?
Yeah, and then you gotta, as you're standing on the lower one, then you gotta heel hook the second one, and then you just basically touching the start. It's no pulling, it's basically finding the right position to, how do you say?
All the balancing point.
Yeah, exactly.
The balancing point. Well, Rose is trying to make that work, and these can be pretty heartbreaking for some of the...
Yeah, well, we consider all the women, basically, they're pretty good at slab. So we just wanted to challenge their skill on slab. And
I think so far you guys are pretty happy with the setting. And Rose, unfortunately not making it off the ground for that one.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think in the women's, the top three have been really... maybe just a notch or two above the others, but it'll be good to see how that boulder problem goes as we go through the competition.
Yeah, well, basically with this type of boulders, it's really hard to get them in 4 minutes. It's pretty risky, and like they're obviously a bit stressed, nervous. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but
under pressure.
They're doing great, all of them. Super strong.
Well, we've got Mia here, and she's made her way from New South Wales, so we'll see how she goes on this. And tell us a little bit about your journey as a route setter. Where did you start your route setting career?
I've started 3 years ago at Urban Climb.
In Brisbane?
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Urban Climb. Great gym.
Yeah. I've started 3 years ago, and I'm pretty lucky to be a part of a setting team at Urban, actually.
And is this what you do full time, or is it part time?
It's part time, but the majority of my work is route setting at Urban. I do a bit of private coaching and designing programs as well.
There you go. Anyone listening in, shout out to Maddie. Track her down on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever it is if you want some coaching. Works out of Urban Climb. But again, we've got Mia here, obviously starting a bit high on that foothold in the women's, so not necessarily making the progress that she would hope, but we've got Alistair.
Oh, come on, Alistair.
Yeah, looks like...
Whoa, that was cool.
So is that how that one's meant to be set? An all points dyno off and a little bit exciting around the corner? Maybe not. Maybe a toe hook?
Yeah, we were hoping for them to get the toe hook, but we'll see.
We'll see. And, that's the interesting thing with setting. As a route setter, you're probably saying, okay, I want them to do it this way. But very interesting, you find out they do it 3 different ways or 5 or 6 different ways.
Yeah, they really want to get it. So they just open up another way every time they come out.
Well, this is pretty impressive here from Alistair. He's like, that's it, I'm just going to go for it. And all points off, dyno. Full in the air.
Yeah. Toe hook.
Well, that's it. And maybe we'll see a toe hook. And
she's really close.
That is close there. Well, we'll see. And, he's moving around the prow, around that arete there, so he's getting some momentum, so he does need something to hold him on.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a toe hook,
yep.
And it's pretty tricky to get that toe hook around. It's just a bit coordination.
Well, I think the crowd will enjoy that when and if we see that one when done as well. But Mia here, again, she's getting a bit lower now.
Yeah, it's quite tricky and hard when you try to just go and touch the start without getting your heel on. So all she needs to do is just getting her heel on before touching the start.
Yeah. The heel is the point. Now she's getting a bit lower here.
Yeah.
So the heel is a little bit slower. The heel's the tip. The heel's the tip.
You don't need to touch the start. Just staying stable on the foot, both foot, and then you just touch it. Yeah. And
that's how, the competitions are set, folks. If you're looking at home and you've just joined us, or you say, what's going on here, and just wandered by the live stream, well, this is a bouldering competition, and we are coming to you live from the Sunshine Coast. This is the Open A male and female finals here today, and we've got 6 competitors. How it works is they have to start at the bottom. You can see 4 pieces of tape. Is it always 4 points to start the boulder problem?
Absolutely.
At the bottom, you must start in a stable condition or position, condition.
Come on now. Whoa.
Oh, so close.
That was really close.
40 seconds here, folks. Like I said, you have to start at the bottom with 4 points.
Yes.
Get yourself established before you move on.
Yes. Definitely you need to be stable at the 4th point before you move on to the next move.
And that's up to the judges. Oh, did Mia get established there? No, she just popped off.
Come on, Al.
There we go. Oh! That was so
close.
close. Now, tell me, he didn't get established on the zone there. Would he be awarded that zone?
I
Don't think so?
No, he wasn't stable, but yeah, no.
Well, that one seems to be a crowd pleaser. We'll look forward to seeing some further attempts on that one as well.
Yeah, I really want to see them getting a bit further and then
Absolutely.
that one as well.
Well, we'll see. And I think I would make a little prediction. We'll see that one done maybe in multiple ways. Depending on how, you saw Sam quite strong, Sam Bowman quite strong and very staticky.
Yeah,
Some of the younger ones a little bit more dynamic.
Actually, Sam is very well-rounded as well, so he's actually good at all styles. So
All around. So here we go. We've got Jesse Ruffin.
Ruffini. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for that. And then Sarah Reynolds.
Yeah.
Mum of 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I hear she
Very-
likes sunsets and sunrises.
Oh, nice.
That's what we've got on here. Likes walking on wet grass. Loves animals.
It's beautiful.
There you go.
We got any hungry
She
people?
got
Yeah, that's the one.
And
That's now we're
there
talking.
we go. A little bit more of a hybrid between a toe and a heel there, but made that look. And sometimes with those moves, when someone does them, they look like they weren't even trying,
Yeah.
right? But then you can get very frustrated with that sort of stuff. And this is what's called a slab, folks, which is slightly off vertical.
Yeah,
Slightly off vertical. Lots of slow, deliberate, accurate movements often.
Exactly. Gotta be really slow, very patient.
She's made it to the zone there. That's often halfway up, folks.
Flash the zone.
Yep, which is happy days.
Incredible climber.
She's just going to work. What's the move here? A little bit more of a transition up high onto the feet, balance across.
Yeah, there is 2 ways. Yeah, one is just like holding the next volume and then
So precarious, isn't it?
yeah, using that to just pistol squat
Pistol
on
squat.
the left leg, or you
Oh.
can just generate momentum with your chest, just tip yourself into the wall and stand up.
A little bit more there.
Yeah, it goes in 2 ways, which Sarah is trying to
Well, she's
grab
made
the
good
volume.
progress. I think
Yeah.
that's the furthest we've seen any of the competitors get so far,
Yeah.
so that's good news.
Yeah.
Be exciting for you to watch this. As you said it, you're like, come on, somebody top it for me.
Yeah, I'm really nervous.
That's it. 2 minutes.
And we've got young Jessie here trying to make the most of male's final number 3.
That was interesting method.
Bit of a backhand.
Nice, Sarah.
And again, once you get those sort of moves in the body, in the repertoire, they seem to come a little bit
Yeah, exactly. It's just all practice, these movements.
repetition
Yeah.
makes it work.
Just 4 minutes of repetition.
And it's not a long time.
Nice,
There you go.
nice, Sarah. That was amazing.
She did that second way that you were talking about, just popping
Yeah.
up, push your chest into the wall and
Yeah, just
get
really,
that balance point.
really slow as well.
And again, you just at any moment you could pop off this, but again, taking it slow, taking it easy. And again, looks like it's another one of those little pop
Nice.
moves to the top.
Come on, Sarah.
And again, here she goes.
That was awesome.
Now you can breathe a sigh of relief.
Thank you. I'm relieved.
Maddie's wiping her brow here with the sweat off it.
That was awesome.
Well done, Sarah.
Let's see what's Jessie doing
good
here.
job. You've competed as well, or just
when
route
I
setting?
was younger.
When you're younger. Now you're old or older.
Yeah.
Not
I
your
think-
cup of tea.
No, yeah. It's not my jam, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not a good competitor in general.
30 seconds left. 30
Bit more art and finesse when it comes to the route setting.
Yeah. Oh my God,
That
that's
was
incredible.
amazing.
Jessie is very, very, very strong.
Wow.
Oh, no.
No.
Slipped off the top.
Well, there you go. Absolutely
Oh my
beastly
God.
move there. And he nailed that zone. And he's like, that's it. Well, I've done the zone. I'll leave it be. But
In the best way as well.
yeah, wow.
So
And
strong.
just one hand. And here we go, folks. Look at that. One hand just like
There's something in the bag.
the bionic man's arm. Just ratchet it down.
Give us a
I
cheer.
bet he'd be a bit bummed about that next move. But there you go. So we've got a Taco. She's done really well so far as well. And Sam Bowman coming out next.
Yeah, you were sharing.
Like you said, Sam's fairly rounded.
Yes.
And,
Yeah, absolutely.
and as the order comes, folks, 1 through to 6, Sam and Atako finishing in position 3. The crowd counting the guys down, ready to get this show on the road. And here we go. The boulder number 3 men's final.
Are we going to get a flash from you?
Wow, what do you predict?
I believe.
All right, Sam, the pressure's on. Medi's got a couple of dollars on that. Maybe, we'll see. He's very considered.
Oh.
No,
Uh-oh. That's not good.
no.
That's not Sam.
Wrong Sam there. There we go, the right Sam.
That's
We're just kidding, folks. There were 2 Sams, but Sam Bowman here on the final, and maybe a bit of nerves creeping in. Who knows? But again, I'm sure he'll recover. He has competed in
Yeah.
the World Cup circuit as well, so
Oh,
my
he's
Lord, that was
on.
awesome.
He's on.
yeah, he was.
What a show.
I could see him scratching the wall with his fingernails, holding onto the paint.
Whoa.
That was impressive, folks. Well done,
amazing.
Sam. Well, that's attempt number 2, so it was almost a flash.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Atako here.
Atako here, making good progress. I wonder if this is her first attempt. Probably not, but we'll see. And I heard she's pretty good at slabs as well.
Yeah, she's also very well-rounded as well. She's
Young
good.
climber, young competitor.
Yeah, she's very young. I think
And,
the youngest as well.
Yeah, and fantastic to see the young talent coming through, up and coming.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, the sport now is in the Olympics, and I was chatting to a few of the younger competitors today, and they've got some eyes on the prize when it comes to the Olympics, wanting to go there.
That's awesome. Oh no.
Some of them are staying up. Some of these
Little bit more.
I think she needs to try the first method, the second method as well, like throwing her chest into the wall.
A little bit more.
Yeah, grabbing that.
And look at that, like Sam
Yeah.
grabbing the. It was fingernails in the paint. And that was just pure grit and determination, I think, there with that one.
Come on, Taco.
Taco doesn't look like she's ever trying. Is it really
Yep.
calm? And,
Yep.
and you know,
Yeah,
she's
her
just,
and Sam Bowman, both of them. Hey.
yeah. Good poker face, I would reckon. You wouldn't want to be playing a round of poker with either of them. You
Sure.
couldn't read them at all. We'll see how she goes here. And you can see that, folks, the wall is slightly in and just.
Yeah, she's trying to just stand up, but she needs to generate momentum in her
Needs that
chest.
momentum.
Yeah,
Yep.
she'll get it.
And sometimes
I
it needs to be a
believe.
bit of upward momentum, not sideways
Yeah,
momentum.
yeah.
And we'll see how she goes here. And it was great to see her, just adjust every time on that coordination problem before.
Yeah.
Every attempt, one little adjustment, one little adjustment.
It was
and then
amazing
boom.
to watch.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Fantastic to see, and I'm sure she'll be adjusting the way she's doing things here just ever so slightly, folks.
Nice Atako. Oh, that's interesting.
Bit of high risk there. Maybe she's just
Yeah.
thinking on the fly, seeing what might feel good, but
Yeah, she might try to get her right foot a bit higher. Oh, nice Atako. It was
well done.
beautiful.
Well done. And you
awesome.
can see, there you go, folks, 3 or 4 attempts at it, and she didn't even need to generate momentum for that. She's very ever so slightly making it up. Well done.
Not a relief for me.
Well, there you go, a couple of tops. It's always nice. What do you aim for when you set these boulder problems? Are you you want 2 or 3 tops, or,
Well, with the slab, like I said, it's their element. Like women
Yes.
know pretty
often good at the
yeah,
slab.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So I was actually trying to challenge them. So we just sort of thought it might be the second or the third hardest.
Yep.
So I was hoping to get like
Let's do that
three
countdown when I see the next hand.
tops.
Let's count down with
Well,
me.
we've still got Judith and Lucy to come, so
Yeah.
we shall see.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't the pressure of the time, they will all like get it. But
Yeah.
it's really hard in 4 minutes.
Well, I was chatting with Jordan before, and,
Yeah.
and he was saying, sometimes you guys dial it up or dial it down in between
Yeah.
rounds, and,
Yeah.
maybe because the conditions here have cooled down and, you dialed it up a little bit
Yeah.
for the finals.
Yeah, well, not with this boulder, but the rest we just because this one is not really condition dependent.
Yes.
But the rest was actually
rest,
yeah.
yeah.
When we were setting, it was really humid, and today is just amazing condition.
Beautiful conditions.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of good for Queensland anyway, folks. Maybe
Yeah.
from somewhere else, it's not so sweaty. But Judith making a great start to this. I think this was her first or second attempt on this, and making pretty good progress. She's quite tall. Would that make a difference in these moves coming through here? A bit further to go on the knee or whatever it might be.
Yeah, this step up, like pushing off the left leg, is a bit easier for her because she's taller.
Yes. Not
there
so
you
far
go.
for the pistol squat. You
Yeah.
you mentioned that
She
before,
might
folks.
reach the
Oh,
top
you
from-
are kidding me. Oh, that's it. Cut one move out. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes the tall competitors get it easy. Sometimes the short
Yeah,
competitors
well-
get it easy.
Like Atako on the last volume, she was just reaching the finish hole.
Yep.
That's always happening.
Yep.
When you have someone really tall and someone really short. in the
Well,
front.
there you go. And it didn't make it any easier or any harder.
Yeah.
And I think that's, obviously the skill that you guys bring to the competition, seeing that happen as well. And it's great to see. You've got your 3 tops now. You can relax.
Thank you.
I'm speaking with Medi, one of the route setters here at the Open A finals. Actually, all weekend you've been route setting as well.
Yeah. Oh.
A big sigh. A big sigh of relief. Almost done. Almost over.
Almost.
Over. And this is the Sam Lavender. This is the real Sam Lavender.
He's another route setter from Urban Climb as well.
Yes.
Incredible setter.
Well,
Amazing climber.
And he just reached that one around, like a little bit dynamic, and done the toe hook. So there you go, folks. We've seen this one done 2 different ways as well.
Oh, was it flash as well?
I think.
No?
No, I don't think it's his flash attempt.
Yeah,
We're
okay,
145
Sorry.
in.
I was really hooked with the female one.
Yeah.
Nice, Sam.
But well done. I think he's relieved to get that one under his belt as well. So, Sam, done the job. Medi's going to call it quits here. Medi, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Fabulous and good job on the route setting, and best of luck. And
Thank you so much.
And down at Urban Climb.
Cheers. Thank you.
Take care.
See ya.
Our climbers out. Hugo and Lucy, they're coming out.
Here we go, folks. We're in the final stretch of the Open A male and female bouldering competition here on the Sunshine Coast. Hugo Hornshaw and Lucy Sterling, our top finishers. It's not over till it's over in a bouldering competition, folks. You've got to keep your focus and your eye on the prize. We shall see how Hugo goes. And the crowd's gone silent, holding their breath by the sounds of things. Maybe maybe the DJ's run out of songs. Who knows? No, we're back with a little bit of music in the background. But Hugo, got to start this climb, folks, with 4 points. You can see here he's working out which way he starts this climb. Touch the toe, and off he goes. And we'll see if he can make this climb a little bit easier than some of the other competitors. Not to be for his flash attempt, which means the first go. Lucy off the ground. Maybe first or second attempt. I don't know if she's had a couple of attempts there. But making her way through this section. Delicate. All about the feet. Balancy. A little bit tricky. But Lucy smiling, enjoying herself, and that's great to see. She is in a good position here. She would love a top. Oh, just a simple little foot slip. So she's made the zone, folks. Lucy's got 2 tops already and 3 zones. That is good for her competition. But Judith And Atako certainly making some headway on the competition. All right, folks, I was just told registrations are now open. If you are a competitor watching at home, open lead climbing. Registrations are now open on the SCA website. Track that down. You can jump on early bird specials or something, I'm sure. We ended up having 140 or 100 registrations in the early bird for the Open B and the Masters. We ended up having 55 male competitors and 26, one of the largest Queensland competition female fields. And Lucy here making decent progress. It's taken her a little bit longer than she'd probably would have liked or hoped. And, you know, some of these climbs can be not necessarily your cup of tea. But Lucy makes the top, and that will be a big relief for her. There she goes. Big deep breath. She's like, oh, all right. I can let out the breath. But we have now Hugo trying to get a top on men's number 3. We've got one more problem after this. Hugo, see if he can make it to the top. Nice. Well, I've just been told as well, folks, for the Open lead competition, there is now a social category, so anyone can have a crack, and I think that's fantastic. So social category, and you're on top rope. You can get involved. You can be there for the couple of days, feel the energy, feel the buzz. You don't have to be an expert or experienced. You can get involved, and I think that's fantastic. So the Open lead climbing competition now open on the Sports Climbing Queensland website. Hugo, unfortunately not finding a top. Big shout out to Pinnacle Sports. They are the main sponsor, not only for this competition today, but also the lead climbing coming up. We might hear from our main sponsor just quickly, and I'll be back in a second. All right, folks, we're back at it after a quick shout out to our sponsors, Pinnacle Sport. I'm joined by Zach, one of the setters here as well. Chuck those headphones on, Zach, and let's do this together. How are you, mate?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic. And hey, listen, what a great show so far. You guys have done an awesome job in the setting.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a great week.
I think I was just chatting with Medi right now. She's quite chuffed that she got a few tops on one of her sets. So,
yeah.
You know, what about you? You involved in these couple here?
Yeah, so I set the white that the men are on.
Now, would you call this a slab? This is the slab for the men?
Yeah, this is the slabbiest kid.
The slabbiest part.
Yeah.
And what's in store for them? You know, any surprises in there, or is it straightforward but just tricky?
It's pretty complex, hard to read, hard to get the movements. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's all about pushing, pressing, really standing on those like shallow volumes.
Heels down, as much rubber as possible.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. And you know, you can feel. Well, you never feel certain or in control in these types of problems, do you?
Yeah, especially in a competition setting.
Yeah, a lot of nerves, bit of pressure, maybe rushing, not breathing.
Yeah, that's what we want to test. We want to test their composure.
Yeah. And you know, how long have you been setting?
I've only been setting a year.
Well done.
Yeah.
And you enjoying that? Is this part of your full-time gig, or is it a part-time gig?
It's part-time. I coach climbing part-time as well.
And where are you coaching?
At Urban Climb.
Urban Climb. Shout out to Urban Climb. Good climbing gym, that one.
It's great.
Absolutely. And you know, it's great to see so many great climbing gyms popping up. You know, around the coast, around Brisbane, Queensland. And you know, we've got Rose here making good progress. Looks like there might be, you know, a top coming up for her. One more. Yeah. And some big holes at the top there. This might be a little bit of a well done.
It's a bit of a flashy boulder.
A bit of a flashy boulder. A little bit fun on the prow there, and you know, maybe a crowd pleaser, yeah?
Yeah, definitely a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, well, well done, Rose, and I would predict most of the climbers in the Open A females will probably top that one.
I think so.
Yep.
It will feel hard after a round of qualifications.
A big day of climbing for these guys, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how you guys feel? You guys have been setting for like 3 days. You're almost falling asleep here? No, you could no.
It's been pretty exhausting.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys have done a great job here. And, you know, we've got Alexander here making his way through. You know, like you said, it's what's the move to get to the zone here? He's got to get a little bit higher, stand on his feet rather than dropping down. Can it be done a few different ways?
It looks like his toe is like too close to the edge.
Yeah.
You want to get like the sole of the foot on.
Yeah.
And then squeeze, like frog it.
Frog. So that's a foot on either side. A bit more rubber, as much rubber as possible.
Yeah.
And work his way across. Well, let's see if he's got what it takes here. He's got 47 seconds, folks, to get that going. And not necessarily making as much progress as he would like. Well, you know, this could be one of those showstoppers for the men. You know, we've had a pretty good, diverse amount of tops across the males so far.
Yeah. I've been pretty happy with the amount of tops, and people are topping different boulders, which is great.
And it must be always a little bit nerve-wracking for the setters, you know, just to see if you get it right. I mean, I was chatting with Maddie and Jordan. They said you guys, you know, dialed up the difficulty on a few of these because it was set at a different time.
Yes. It's a lot colder now.
Yeah.
We were setting, and it was very hot and humid.
And that makes a big difference, right? When you're on the wall trying to hold onto these holds, they can get pretty slippery pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need lots of chalk.
And, you know, I've seen the rise of liquid chalk, especially of late. What do you think about that in the climbing gyms and the bouldering scenes?
I think it has its place. I think it's especially good during COVID.
Yeah. Keeps things, you know, less airborne. Well, folks, we've now got Alistair Early and Mia Weeder here to see if they can get some tops or make some progress on these boulders. What do you think? Mia did well in qualifiers.
I think Mia has a great chance of topping this boulder.
Which would be nice for her. I think she's got at least one top so far, and it'd be nice for her to get another one there. And what about Alistair here? Making reasonable progress. He's got off to, you know, off the start holes at the very least and making his way into position. Where's the crux of this slab?
There's one crux right before the zone, which is like transferring your weight over that volume. And then there's a crux going to the finish hold.
Oh, there you go.
A
bit of a heartbreaker. Well, there you go, folks. Sometimes the setters can be a bit sadistic when it comes to the bouldering, but that's the part of making this also entertaining. And it's not over till it's over. And Mia fighting her way through these big holes. They look massive, folks, but they're all facing, you know, a weird way. And you've got to have a bit of body tension, upper body strength. But looks like she's making good progress here. She'll be pretty happy with this. And one big move to that. Volume. Maybe the next time she might sort of get around the corner a little bit more before she launches in. But we've got Alistair making progress here. This was one of the cruxes. Now, you could see he's crimping on one of those screw holes, right?
Yeah.
That is allowed. But however, the other holes he's not allowed to hold onto. The ones that are in the volumes, yeah? So you can... Here we go. Here's the heartbreaker move, folks. Let's see if Alistair makes it to the top. Making that look fairly easy.
That's good.
Nice work, Alistair. I think you'll be happy with that. Probably not as many tops as he wanted to, but he's done well. Made it to the finals and done well in those.
He was definitely the favorite to top that boulder.
Yeah.
It's very his style.
It's style.
Yeah.
Slabby style. Well, there you go. Well done, Alistair, putting on a show for the crowd here, and got a fantastic crowd actually here today. Been here all day. Some of the mums and dads supporting everyone, friends and family. Bit of a shout out to you guys. Thanks for joining us here today, and all the viewers online. Great to see you guys still here as well. After a couple of hours for the finals, there was a 5 hours for the qualifiers. That was a long round, eh?
That was a big one.
Yeah, and some of the climbers were in isolation for quite a while. But Mia now wants to finish strong. She's looking forward to maybe the last move. Maybe she's running out a bit of steam. Been a long day for these climbers.
It certainly has.
She's still got a minute though, folks, and you could easily get 1 to 2 attempts in. Probably a good attempt. Well, is there a bit of a strategy here when you're climbing? Run it down 30 seconds. Have a bit of a rest first.
I think 40 seconds is generally the rule.
Yep.
That leaves you enough time to get back on if you do make a mistake. It depends on the route, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Mia does have that good 40 seconds, and let's see if she can make this work. Getting a foot around this time. I think that's a little bit better for her. Oh, big commitment there, and almost got the cameraman. It's all stations go here, folks, at the Sunshine Coast Bouldering Competition. We are on the home stretch. We are on boulder number 4 for the women and the men. And Mia, she's done, I think. Flamed out. And what a great day for Mia. Well done, Mia. Big round of applause for her. And next up, we'll have Jessie and Sarah. Jessie Raffini and Sarah Reynolds out to do these final 2 boulder problems. What do you know about these two?
They're very strong. Jessie has made a World Youth semifinals.
Aha.
They're ready. We're ready.
Sarah, mum of 2. I had a chat to her today. And Jessie, a bit of a gun. We'll see how these guys go. The crowd getting involved, which is fantastic. Everyone having a bit of fun. Let's see what these guys have got for us here tonight. Young Jessie. I think he climbs out of Urban Climb too, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Yep.
he does. You'll normally find him on the spray wall.
The spray wall, folks, is a very colourful wall. It's a good training wall. Is he training endurance, power, endurance?
Power.
Power.
Pure power.
Bit of a boulderer through and through, as he loves the boulder problems. And again, you can see him there, folks. He's zeroing in on those screw holes. And he knows these things reasonably well, I'm sure. Trying to get some purchase. And you think, all right, well, he's grabbing onto something. Well, it's not that much, folks, at home. And it's a little bit difficult to really appreciate the angles and the nuances in this climbing competition until you actually do it. But the camera team trying to get the best shots possible to show everyone at home on the live stream how it's rolling. Great to see so many people on here, and give that stream a share, folks. If you're there, make the competition scene get a little bit more coverage. We are in the Olympics right now. Any thoughts or desires to go to the Olympics, Zach?
Desires? No. But I would like to see some of these guys in the future.
Well, we do have the championships, the Aussie championships down, the Nationals, actually down in Sydney coming up in June. The youth and the senior down there as well. And I do know that they will be taking a contingent over to Texas for the World Cup later this year, I think in August. So fingers crossed we will see 1 or 2 of these climbers, these Queensland climbers down there, and maybe getting on the World Cup circuit. And it's great to see that coming up and getting lots of airtime as well. And we're in the Olympics, so folks, for the first time ever, climbing became an Olympic sport in the recent Olympics. There's 3 disciplines. This is bouldering, there's speed climbing and lead climbing.
Yep. And in the next Olympics, boulder and lead will be combined, and speed will be its own event.
There you go. And I did see on the news or on the socials that the speed climbing record was just broken just recently. I think it was a sub 5-second speed climb as well. And here's Sarah making decent progress. Oh,
So close.
that is her high point so far. And you can see maybe a little bit of that fitness. Getting a bit tired right on the end. It's been a long day, folks. They started at 8 o'clock and we're now 6:41. 7 o'clock, long day for the climbers. Long day for everyone, but everyone's having a lot of fun in the competition here. But certainly your skin and your energy, you got to keep it healthy as well. And unfortunately for Jesse, he's not making it through that section either. Sarah making quick work of that lower section, and if she can just get a little bit higher.
28 seconds.
28 seconds here. What will she do? Will she give it one more go, or will she leave that as the final attempt? But we'll see. No, she's going to give it a good whirl.
I've got 14 seconds.
We shall see. She's made the zone, so no.
10, 9, 8.
She's going to give it a whirl. A crowd pleaser.
5, 4, 3,
Well, that's good to see.
2,
Sarah and Jessie all the way down to the wire. Good job there, folks. Well done. The crowd appreciating the efforts. And their competition's over right now. We've got the last 3 to come out now. Sam Bowman, Sam Lavender, Hugo Hornshaw, and Atako Atako Nakamura, and Judith Carroll, Lucy Sterling. The final 6 competitors coming soon. We'll just have a... No, we won't. We'll keep it rolling straight into the next competitors team, and that will be Sam Bowman and Atako Nakamura. Atako is having a pretty good competition. She's made tops on all of them.
Yeah, she's having a great competition. And this is the first time she's been allowed to compete
in the Opens.
In the Opens.
Yeah. And she's 13 or 14, a bit older?
I think she's a bit older. I can't remember her exact age.
She's the youngest competitor, or one of the youngest in the Opens today.
Yes.
We would expect some good things from her in the future, I would expect. And she...
yeah, she's been a crusher since she was very young.
And we were just chatting before, Medi and I, one of the other route setters, and we were saying, she doesn't even look like she's trying. She's just got her eye on the prize, like zoning right in. Well, there you go. Those guys are settled in for the night by the look of it. They've got their sleeping bags here. Maybe it'll be hard to get rid of them out of the climbing gym. We'll see how we go. And hopefully, it's a big move, that one, for someone maybe a bit shorter. Is that quite difficult for you guys to sort of set for shorter and taller climbers and different styles?
Yeah, that is one of the main challenges, making everything fair.
Yes.
But sometimes moves are just big, and shorter climbers
just have to make it work.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Sam, like you said, did the frog down there. That's a classic. Oh, absolutely. Well, he's don't want to jinx it just yet, but he seems to be cruising this quite nicely. This, I don't think it's his flash move. Oh. Good top there from Sam Bowman making a top. Well done. I reckon that might close the door. He could be number 1 on the podium by the look of things, if my memory serves. But don't take my word for it, folks. Hang around, because the judges will be the judge of that a bit later on. So
that is 4 tops, though.
It is 4 tops. I don't think I've seen anyone else do 4 tops. So, all right. Well, we might say it on the down low. The competitors do have some time to make an appeal.
Yes, they do.
For any reason they think they might be, unfair, something went wrong, something didn't go their way, they can make an appeal. That's the way competitions are, folks. They can make an appeal. There's about 10 minutes before that. Then there'll be a little bit of adding up the scores. Usually the judges have got that dialed, and then we'll have some podiums, folks. So don't go away. Stay around and support all of the competitors until the end. We'll probably be 15 or 20 minutes at the end until the podiums, but we're on the home stretch, folks. These are 2 of the last 6 climbers before we finish up the bouldering competition here. The Open A female, the Open competition, top 6 climbers in the Queensland titles. Sports Climbing Queensland, Pinnacle Sports, and Flow Bouldering here supporting that, and a big shout out to everyone else who's been supporting it as well. All the volunteers, the route setters, the competitors, the mums and dads, the friends and family. And looks like Atako might be a little bit out of gas in this last one.
I think so.
Yeah.
Tried really hard this whole round.
She is trying very hard, and the crowd's giving her a rev up. Let's see if she can get a little bit more fire up in the tank. Sometimes a bit of an adrenaline burst gets you through, but we shall see. And Atako could not get that double clutch move there. A little bit big for her today, maybe.
I think she just wasn't getting her feet high enough.
Up high enough on that move with her feet. Yeah. As we go. We'll get our final few climbers out here. And we've got Sam Lavender, Judith Carroll, 2 strong climbers. And they've made some good progress here today as well. We might cut to a quick break, folks. Back in a second. All right, here we are back. Zach had to go back to his official route setting duties. They'll be doing a bit of packing down a bit later on. And Judith here making quick work of this climb. I might see if I can predict. I think we'll see a top from Judith. We'll see. This is the bit of a stopper move. She can make this one work. Looks like it's pretty clear sailing for the rest of those holds. So here we go, folks. You're probably going to see a quick top, quick work made of it. Well done, Judith. Great way to finish her campaign here today. I think Judith will be on the podium. I don't know where she'll be finishing, but she's made a number of tops. Well done to Judith. And now we're back to Sam. You could see how quick that climb was. That first boulder problem for, well, not the first, but it was the last. The female final 4. You can make quick work of that one, but this one here for Sam Lavender can't be rushed. It's a lot more delicate. He's gotten through the first crux, according to Zach, our route setter before. And there's a bit of a heart stopper move at the top. We'll see if Sam can make that work. Seems pretty comfortable there as he is. And ever so slowly making his way up the wall here. Some great work from the camera team.
That's it. Go and give him the support he needs.
Everyone's holding their breath. I am here, just so delicate, and my hands are sweaty. I'm nervous for him. This one, oh, there you go.
2 minutes remaining.
Well, Zach made a call on that one, and that was the heartbreaker right at the end. One more move, and he would have made it. But and we're seeing Judith there. Quick work of that last top without him breaking a sweat. Well done, Judith. I think she'll be on the podium.
Down to 150.
Great for her. A little bit of a shout out to the camera team on the fly. They had to fix one of our camera clocks. It's a bit wonky and weird, but at least you can see the clock team. One of our other cameras went flat on the fly, but couldn't get on the wall in the middle of competition to fix that. But Jimmy rigged it, and we've got the countdown clock all working. We're seeing here Sam Lavender trying to finish this one off. He made it work across this first crux here, where you do a little bit of a frog move. You can see that's some great camera work there, getting his fingers right into those screw holes. Now, you are allowed to use those screw holes on the edges of the volumes. You can see him standing on those volumes, those triangle shapes sticking out. You are allowed to use the screw holes, but not the bolt holes. A little bit confusing which one's which, but competitors know. Now, he got himself to this position before. He's probably got... This is his last attempt, I think. If I was to make a prediction, this one has to be done slowly, or reasonably slowly. So Sam, seeing if he can make sure, dots all his I's, crosses his T's, get some chalk on, get some... Looks like he might be lining up for a bit of a dynamic move to go to the top, maybe. Who knows? And here we go. Think he's eyeing it off. 17 seconds, Sam. And, all right, here we go. Using a little bit more. Oh, that would have worked too, but there you go. Well done, Sam. Good effort.
Let's reset the
Big day of climbing for these competitors, folks. And Sam putting as much effort as he had in all the way to the finish line on the buzzer. But that's it, folks. It's not over till it's over. Open A finals here. And we are on the 2 final climbers in the Open A finals for the final time today. Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And there you have Lucy. Has had a fantastic competition here today. Just taking a moment to settle herself before she gets on the wall. 4 minutes to finish strong, Lucy. And we also have Hugo Hornshaw to do the final, men's final 4 boulder problem for himself. Taking some time, not rushing it. Judy also not wanting to be overconfident, I'm sure. I think Judy will make short work of this one. That's my prediction. But you never know with bouldering problems and competitions, folks. And we shall see. Judy is away. Made the.
Let's hear the support for these climbers now.
And it's not as easy as it looks, that first move, or the second move anyway. She's just looking to get this sort of double clutch going on. Bit of a... Oh, there you go. Maybe overthought it there at the start, but Lucy's a seasoned competitor. She recently got engaged. Well done, Lucy. Heading off in June to compete in the Innsbruck World Cup Lead and Boulder. One of our international level competitors here, Lucy. Absolutely fantastic. Trains overseas a couple of months, getting married and leaving soon. Likes painting, likes slabs. Sarah's also a mum of 2 kids. Oh no, that's Sarah, not Lucy. Lucy doesn't have 2 kids. Sorry about that, Lucy. But Lucy has about 2 minutes to get a final top here. And let's hope she can get this done. It's not over till it's over. That's the move, Lucy. She might have overthought it there before, but I predict from here on she'll make short work of this final climb. Strong climber, double hand, dyno to the big holes. She knows those holes really well. Well done, Lucy. And a classic dismount, and she is absolutely done. Well done, Lucy. I think she will be number 1 on the podium, and we shall see how the scoring plays out. But we still have Hugo. 1 minute 46 seconds, 45, 44 to go in his boulder competition today. The brush is in. It's quite important to get the brushing done. These holes can get very slippery if they're not maintained well. And the volunteers have done an amazing job today. But the final 1.5 minutes of the competition here today, Hugo Hornshaw making his way. He's probably got enough time, but he'll have to not muck around, not dilly-dally on this move, and dropping down low, making sure he can do that transfer, which is a little bit tricky, and he's off. That is the heartbreak of slabs, folks. And quickly checking a replay out there for Lucy, making short work once she'd made that first move. And let's see if Hugo's got a little bit left in the tank for this final boulder problem of the Open A Queensland bouldering competition here, folks.
I need 30 seconds of
30 seconds.
now. Let's get him up there.
Come on, Hugo. Let's finish this with a bang. Be a good crowd pleaser, as well as great for Hugo's competition, I'm quite sure. Oh, not to be. Not to be.
Is he going to have one more attempt?
Oh, here we go. The crowd's revving him up. Go, Hugo. And he's done and dusted. Well done. Well done, everybody. What an amazing competition here today. We've seen some fantastic bouldering and climbing from all.
So for our Open A male, we have both the podium winners and the competition winners. So in third place, we had Alistair Early. Alrighty, and in second place we have Sam Lavender. Alright, and coming in at first place is Sam Bowman. Alright, let's give it up for our Open A men. No, wait, we just did that. Well. Oh. I'm so sorry. Oh, wait. There's... So our Lisa said Open A men this year was the largest category we ever had with 55, I think, male competitors. So next year, we're thinking of chucking in a semis, make it even more World Cup, make it even bigger. So if you were cycling keen for this year, next year's going to be even better. Alright, so for our Open A female, again, one of our largest categories with nearly 30 women competing. And that's growing each year, which is fantastic. So to make this a bit confusing, we're going to do our competition winners first. So in third place, we have Atako. And in second place, all the way from New South Wales, we've got Judith. And in first place, Lucy. All right, let's give it up for our Open A female competition winners.